In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show with your host, Anthony Sain. Now, let's get to the show. What up, everybody? Welcome to The Anthony Sain Show. My name is Kenny Stubblefield, and to my left, to my right, is Parish Sharky. What's up, man?
Man, you got to do it like Sain be doing, man. What's going on, everybody?
Listen, I stay in my lane, bro. I stay in my lane. I don't go overboard. I try not to do too much. It comes across super fake if I do, man, because that's not me. That's not how I work. I got to get. Listen, I'm excited to be here today. We got a jam-packed show. I'm excited to have you on. I knew I needed to have you on to talk all the Zack Kleiman press conference and the trade deadline and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm glad you're on with us today. Anthony's out of town, actually. He's headed out of town with his lovely wife. They're going to get away for a couple of days. So shout out to him. So
he said live on the air last week, I believe, didn't he?
He said what?
He said it live on the air last week. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm out this Friday." I was like, "This Friday."
I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." and thankfully, he reminded me yesterday he was out of town. So like, this is kind of a. I had to call you. I was like, "Parish, you got to join me, dude. I need you." Oh man, but yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. We got in the second segment, we're gonna have Scoop B on. Anthony and Scoop B talked last night, so it's a pre-recorded interview. Fantastic interview. Scoop is just a one-of-a-kind guy, man. He is a guy that is been around. I did not know this. A couple of things came out yesterday in the interview. He's been around for like 28 years. He started his first NBA radio show and doing behind-the-scenes stuff with Ahmad Rashad when he was 12 years old. 28 years ago. Right? Like, that's crazy. Guess who coached him in, I guess, young basketball, like his early basketball time? Guess who coached him?
I'm trying to think. 12. That's the 90s. Say he did a show with Ahmad Rashad.
Don't go too deep with it. Think local. Think local.
Just think local. Local. It wasn't Penny. Yeah, Penny was playing back then. Definitely wasn't him. Larry Finch was coaching the Tigers. Local.
Brevin freaking Knight.
Oh, Brevin Knight. Why I didn't think of Brevin
Knight.
I never thought Brevin Knight coached, so I guess why they
Brevin Knight coached him when he was a young kid playing basketball. So it just incredible. Like, just
where Brevin in the league at that time?
I think he was in a league. Maybe it was during the offseason. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, when he had time to coach.
I don't know. All I know is that's what we were told yesterday. And so shout out. Like, I got to ask Brevin about that. Like, you remember coaching Brandon Scoop B. Robinson? Did you know? Yeah. So anyway, fantastic interview with Scoop, man. Anthony and him get into Ja Morant, the trade deadline, the relationship between the Grizzlies and Ja Morant at this point. And then they really dive into like sources and how do you if you have sources, how do you vet those sources? Super interesting interview because one of the things that's been going around the internet and what I love about Scoop is like he's been around for so many years. He's been around for almost 30 years in the NBA.
Right.
And yet people still to this day will question his sources and question is Scoop B a fraud or is he not? Right. All because of the fact that he's an independent journalist doing his thing out here. He's not attached to one of the big brands or whatever. Like, so, which is kind of par for the course. We've experienced that a little bit at Bluff City Media with what we do here. But I'm just, it was a really cool interview. So I'm excited for y'all to hear that. And then the third segment, we're going to come back and Parish and I are going to break down Zack Kleiman's press conference.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the almost absolute nothing burger that press conference was. We got video clips. Parish took video. We got video clips. You'll see him live.
That's suspected. It's Zack Kleiman. I mean, he's we thought Taylor Jenkins was a word salad. No, we know who we got it from, or if
he loved it.
That was toe and toe.
Teach me your ways, Zack Kleiman. Teach me how to word salad.
Zack Kleiman got him beat. He's always had him beat. that's crazy.
Well, we're gonna do that, man. We're gonna talk about we're gonna go through all that in the third segment. But I wanted to, before we get into the Scoopy interview, I wanted to ask you, man. We're post trade deadline. Where are you at, man? Like, what were your thoughts? They obviously clearly made a decision to move forward in a different way with this franchise. Got off Jaren Jackson Jr., got back quite a few draft picks, kind of a war chest of assets, if you will. Tried to move Ja, didn't move Ja. Coming out of the trade deadline, Parish, where are you at on where the Grizzlies are, what they're doing, the decisions they're making?
I'm with them. I just kind of wish. I don't know. I've kind of changed my tune when the deadline hit. It was just like, man, why y'all just get rid of him, right? But I also understand because there's a chance in the offseason that you could get something for Ja, right? What happened at the deadline was Giannis didn't get traded.
Right.
You kind of needed that domino to fall because whoever lost on the Giannis sweepstakes may have got desperate and said, you know what?
Let's go get Ja.
I'm going to take time, potentially, right? And, of course, this offseason, you got other players. Kawhi Leonard would possibly become available this offseason. So you got a lot of more variables. But regardless, in the offseason, you got more teams that have a disappointing end to their season. The Miami Heat is the team that you always going to kind of look at. Like, if they miss out on Giannis, Ja Morant could be their next, like, target. In the offseason setting, you got more time to, like, think it through and be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the chance. Let's get him here this summer, get him in the summer program and kind of get things rolling from there. So
let me ask you this. I want to talk Miami for a second. Is it not weird? They had like clearly Giannis. I think what Giannis tweeted yesterday that legends don't chase, they assemble, basically, I think was what his tweet was. I feel like that was I feel like Miami just didn't make a strong push for Giannis. Right, like they could have had him if they wanted him. It feels like. Then they also could have had. There's a report that came out from some Miami reporters what the deal was for Ja Morant, like what the Grizzlies were willing to take, and that's the Jaime Jaquez or Khalil Ware plus the Terry Rozier contract and a first round pick
and a first,
right? Yeah. Why would Miami not do that? I don't necessarily understand why they wouldn't take that deal.
I think they won't. Miami is the team that's been pump fake. Now, we're pump faking for years, right? Damian Lillard was supposed to get there.
Right.
They didn't pull that off. Whether Portland was just being, a-holes to him, or rather Miami didn't want to give up what Portland probably really wanted to get Damian Lillard for. Then of course this whole Giannis thing, they've been kind of the whole I think they were trying to go after Donovan Mitchell, if I ain't mistaken. Didn't happen. They messed up with Jimmy Butler, right? With the whole,
right.
We took him 2 finals and you decided you want to pay him, and that's how everything led to their whole situation. I don't know. Miami just seems like the organization. They always try to get a bargain, which they got Jimmy essentially on a bargain. They signed him as free agent, did a sign and trade to work him there. It's like they try and not necessarily be cheap because they're paying players, but when trying to get players, they're going about it in a cheap way.
Yeah.
And with Ja, I think where everything's around him is like, hey, he shouldn't be worth nothing. We ain't finna give you much to get him, right? Just in case it checks out. He come here, it don't work out. But based on what the asking price was, yeah, I would have did that.
Yeah.
Chance. Yeah. Because I talked to my guy, Sheedy. He's a Miami Heat fan. And he was saying Khalil Work got benched. And, I ain't watched Miami.
Yeah, Khalil's benched. He's not playing.
Yeah. So I'm like, he ain't playing. Y'all ain't playing him. Why not take that chance and trade to him? First round pick. I don't know. And you could have got off of Terry Rozier. And Terry Rozier, I think, has an expiring deal. So that's why the Grizzlies would have wanted that too. So it's Miami Heat for you. He culture, they say. He culture, they ain't won a championship since, whenever LeBron was there when that time happened. So,
It is weird. It feels like, and because you see the frustration. There's been a lot of frustration in the Grizzlies fan base because of the trade deadline, because of moving off of Jaren, right? Like that all of a sudden now Jaren is like the favorite Grizzlies player of all time.
Hey, I got my gifted hoodie from Jaren
which,
on today,
which
man.
Look,
solidarity.
we loved Jaren Jackson Jr., but it is wild. It is wild the narrative, how quickly the narrative switched among Grizzlies fans once he was gone, right? And because
I didn't see much. Well, like I said, my timeline. The people already like Jaren. they were still on it. The people who did like Jaren, the people I saw that was complaining, they already like Jaren. The people I saw that didn't like him, they were still on we could. Or they may have been mad at what we got back, saying, man, we only got 2 picks. We ain't get one back this year. That's why I saw more of on my side.
Yeah, Chris has felt like everyone was mad at the deal they took.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I saw more of the deal. And I saw a split on there. I saw most people liked it. A lot of people was like, it was most of the pick. Why we didn't get this year's pick instead of 2 picks next year? What's supposed to be a weaker draft?
Right. Yeah, well, makes sense. The Miami fans though are like, you can tell they're pissed because I think they had aspirations that they were going to come out of this trade deadline with Giannis and Ja, and they came out with zero, with none of it. They can't. They still have Terry Rozier on their squad. Taking money away from them. They got Khalil Ware, who's been benched. They got Jaime Jaquez, who is doing his thing over there with Eric Spoelstra's ex-wife. Apparently, it's crazy. Like the levels of. I feel like even in that sense, you just take the deal, right? If you're Miami, I think they demand. I think it was Miami that demanded a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, they wanted the first
Grizzlies
round
attack, right?
Yeah, we knew the Grizzlies. Zach Kleiman.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Get over and up.
So just coming out of the trade deadline, it does feel weird. I get why Zach Kleiman didn't pull the trigger on a Ja Morant trade, like with what the trade value was, right? Like what they were wanting to get back for him. They got nothing even close to what they were wanting to get back for him. But it does definitely put the rest of this season, this roster, and this franchise in kind of a weird position. And what do you do with Ja now, right? Like, what's the plan with him? Did you kind of feel some of that? And we'll talk about it. The press conference, they talked about it a little bit today. But do you understand, like, why, like, what kind of a weird position this puts the Grizzlies in with Ja, and even honestly with Ja?
Definitely, because you think about the trades and the players that got on the roster, they got a lot of point guards, right? So it's even like you trade for Walter Clayton. Walter Clayton was in that trade. Walter Clayton was the player outside of 3 picks. He was the player in that trade that you like. All right, first round pick last year, won the national championship at Florida. That's the player we want to see what we got. Well, Josh still on the roster, or you can make it work with Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen because they all combo guards. So you can make it work with those 3 and Cam Spencer because you can split time between the 1 and 2 between all of them. Yeah. And Ty and Scottie are still coming back from injury, so they probably gonna rotate coming back, not playing.
Absolutely.
Yada, yada.
You see it tonight against Portland. They're doing that.
Yeah.
Scotty's available and Ty is not. So
because it's a back-to-back. So tomorrow they ain't Ty and Scotty ain't playing second night back-to-back. So they're gonna swap them tomorrow. More than likely.
Tomorrow's gonna be tied. Ty in, Scotty out. Right.
Right. So you're gonna see that. And so adding Chop back in when you want to see what you got in Walter Clay don't make sense, right? So that was my whole thing. And even when I was thinking, like, you do keep them, I would send them home. But
that's a question that Joel had. He said, "Are we going to even see Ja on the bench the rest of the season?" What do you think?
I mean, me personally, like I said, depending on how the true relationship was between the front office and him, and I'm sure, like you said, Sain talked about that with Scoop B in the interview, so we probably hear more, maybe know a little bit more after that interview. The press conference today, we'll get to that later too, but
we'll do that later.
I have no idea. Me personally, I would send them home and just, hey, we know we moving on this offseason. They got to see what they got in Walter Clay and bringing Chop back to play, and you essentially not playing Walter Clay. No, I think you got to, after making the Jaren trade, you got to see.
It definitely feels like with the way that they talked about Walter Clayton today in the press conference.
Oh, yeah.
They're absolutely auditioning Walter Clayton to be a part of this next iteration of whatever this Grizzlies team looks like.
Yep, and he's like 6'4". He got some size on him. Yeah. Like I said, everybody saw it. If you watch college basketball, watch the NCAA tournament, and I'm a Tennessee fan, so I watched the SEC. Tennessee lost to Florida twice last year. Walter Clay killed us twice last year. Oh, he looked like Jalen Brunson in college. So Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson coming to the league wasn't expected to be Jalen Brunson. So he got drafted, I think, early second round, late first. So
I like your Jalen Brunson comp of Walter Clayton. I got a different one for you, and we talked about this in the group chat a couple of months ago when we were talking about Darius Acuff. I said Darius Acuff reminds me of Walter Clayton, and Walter Clayton reminds me of Darren Williams.
I could see a little bit. I don't know about the pass. I think Darren Williams' passing was I don't know, Walter Clay on that level with the passing.
He's a rookie, so I get you're right.
Well, I haven't seen him this year in Utah, so I have no idea how he's looking in the NBA. But I'm talking about strictly in Florida. I didn't. Darren Williams in Illinois.
Oh my God, Darren Williams was so nasty. He was one of. I remember watching the Illinois national championship game when they played in it, and was like, this guy is freaking ridiculous.
That was they only lost that year, wasn't it? I think they were undefeated until then. No, I think they lost one random game at the end of the season. But yeah, man, that was crazy. Him and D Ford and Luther Head. That squad, man.
That squad was so much fun.
Because it was legit. If people who ain't watched the NBA like knew Chris Paul, Darren Williams, it was legit those two. Yeah. I think they were drafted third, fourth, fifth, sixth, wherever, back to back. It was those two. It was like, which one the better one? And it was like, one side say Chris Paul, the other side say Darren Williams. Then, of course, Chris Paul transcended and Darren Williams fell off. But for like 5 years, it was
God,
the best.
Darren Williams was crazy. Man. And he got stuck in Utah and didn't get a whole lot of publicity out there. But man, God, he was so good. He was so good in Utah when he played for quite a few years. But obviously, he fell off, and Chris Paul's the point god, so he kept it going. But there were people, Marciano says, there were people saying that if we couldn't trade Ja, then we shouldn't have traded Jaren. Like, what the F kind of logic is that?
So I was kind of, like I said, this is initial reaction when deadline hit. It was like, dang, you trade Jaren, but you didn't trade Ja. But like I said, after sitting on it, and I'm the type of person, I don't let my initial reaction, I ain't finna tweet out initial reactions all day. I let you have to sit on it, right? And to that logic, yeah, that's a good point, because I'm like, you still got the offseason. It was like I ain't finna just force myself to keep Jaren when I got this pretty good 3 first-round picks is good, because even though 2 of them are next year, you're thinking about trades. Right. You got 13. You're not selecting all 12 or 13 of their first-round picks.
There is no way that this team is going to take all of their draft assets that they have and go to the podium with those draft assets. Right. They are absolutely using some of those draft assets to put in trades and get, like Anthony said a few days ago, if they see a dude in 26 they want, they'll use some of those draft assets to go up to get them, right? And
a key example of that last year, they got those 4 picks from Orlando, right?
Right.
They used 2 of them. They used their current draft pick, and they used the future, their 2027 pick to trade up to get Cedric Howard. So that's the purpose of the picks. OKC, they got all them picks. They ain't gonna. There's no possible way they drafting all these players.
No.
They traded one for Jared McCain, who was dropping 30 points in his rookie year before he got hurt last year.
Right.
And been struggling since he got back. But I'm like, God dang, they got OKC. They got their hands on him because he was cold hell before he got hurt his rookie year. So, but that's the point. That's what you use those picks for.
Yeah. Kadarius is on this, and he's not getting off of it. I'm looking forward to the day that Ja's no longer on the team, just so Kadarius can go, all right, he's not on the team. How would y'all feel if we signed Ja for 6 years?
Bruh. What has he done to get signed for 6 years? The last 3 years. So I was thinking about it this morning. So Ja Morant signed his rookie extension, 22, went over 21, 22.
Right.
His actual extension of his 5-year contract started the year he got the 25 game suspension, which started, he's only played 79 games since he started playing on his now, $197 million deal. He outplayed his rookie contract, and he's shortly lived up to his extension contract. So if you sign him a 6-year deal, it better be significantly less.
I mean, listen, as much as we like to bang on Kendrick Perkins for the things that he said it yesterday, man, if he doesn't get his stuff in gear, that man might be out the league in 2 years once his contract is up if he doesn't get it together. And I think the truth of Ja's situation is closer to what Kendrick is saying than it is to re-signing Ja for 6 years.
Yeah. They ain't happening anywhere because if another team trade for him, he got to prove it. Like he hasn't played. Because even you can handle, like I always say, you can all the stuff outside the court, or his attitude, all this stuff. If he was a superstar on the court,
oh my God,
consistently performing, you deal with it, right? But when you are when that stuff is going on, plus you getting hurt and not playing, it hurts you.
Yeah, I said this from the beginning. If Ja played basketball, none of this would be none of these issues that we talk about, none of these things that we talk about off court would be even talked about ever again if he just played ball.
Yep. And like I said, some of the stuff is unfortunate. It's not. I can't not. Injuries happen.
Shoulder injury.
Yeah, he ain't getting hurt on purpose.
No,
so
hell
like,
no.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
It's just unfortunate. Yeah. It's it's crazy. Wait, are we sharing our Grizzlies? There are folks. Our comment section was blasted yesterday with folks thinking that we're getting a paycheck from the Grizzlies for the comments that we're making. This is crazy, right? Like, do you want a piece of it? Do you need a percentage of that?
No.
You're good. Okay.
Because stay tuned for this Zack Kleiman when we talk about Zack Kleiman.
When we go through the press conference,
we got a segment for this one. We got a segment for him.
When we go through this press conference, you'll realize real quickly we're not employees of the Memphis Grizzlies.
we just call it 100 down the middle on both sides.
Everything we say, we believe, right? Everything we say, nobody's paying us to believe a certain thing. But yeah, man, shout out to you, man. I appreciate your thoughts on the trade deadline. What a wild day it was, and the fact that Ja's still on this team is I know for a lot of folks is really confusing. It just all comes down to they just did not get what they wanted for him, and they're going to wait, right? They're going to wait and get what they want. Chris Anthony said earlier in the show, May 10th is the next big day that we got to worry about. That's the draft lottery day, right? Like that's the big day for when nothing is going to happen right now. May 10th, once the draft lottery happens, then we'll start to kind of go, okay, now let's make some moves, right? Now let's go. Let's do this. I'm excited though for this next segment because we're going to have our guy Scoop B on to talk all things Ja Morant, the Memphis Grizzlies, and sourcing in 2026. And is Scoop B a fraud? That's a real question we have to ask. But listen, I was outside earlier today, and it is warm outside.
Yeah, 60.
It is 60s.
65.
There's still snow. There's still ice on the ground, but it is melting. My yard looks like a swamp in the backyard right now. It is just so wet and gross. And I guarantee you, bugs and ants and all those critters are going to try to get into my house. And so I'm going to be absolutely calling our guy. There it is. Grade A Pest, Reggie Freeman Alexander, to come out and just look at my house, man, because I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of issues with bugs and all that kind of stuff now that it's starting to warm up a little bit. Grade A Pest, 20 years of experience in pest and rodent control, homegrown business from a born and raised Memphian. Former Fortune 500 company executive. Guy was in the corporate world for 20 odd years, left there and started his own business. He's committed to excellence by applying human and pet friendly products that are safe and highly efficient to meet your pest needs. Reggie Freeman Alexander will come out and he'll take care of all those bugs and roof rats and all those things that you got in your house because of this winter weather. Hit him up, 901-628-4867 or gradeapservices@gmail.com. Hit him up. You could text him right now, and by the end of the show, he'll have texted you back and get back with you and set up an appointment to come out and check out your house and take care of your house, protect your house from pests and the critters. So shout out to Reggie Freeman Alexander. Hit him up. Go check him out. But hey, let's get to we're going to take a break. When we come back, Scoop B will be on with Anthony Sain. Talk all things John Morant and Memphis Grizzlies. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
Breaking news: Sincere Parker is our player of the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, whoa! Who knew?
Shocker, right?
Yeah, what a game, man.
No, he was awesome
game.
tonight. Penny's talked about it in the last couple of weeks of just how he doesn't want his team to let go of the rope, right? Sincere putting the team on his back, and the team and the guys rallying around him and making sure he took the shots that were good shots, right? It was just a really well-played back half of the second half because they had every reason just to let it go, and they didn't. And so that was good. Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. My guy, Brandon Scoop B. Robinson, has been all over this John Morant situation before it was situated, man. But before this thing really got cooking, man, he was one of the first people to tell y'all that motherfucker loves Memphis, man. And he was ahead of everybody with that. And he's been ahead of y'all a lot of stuff when it comes down to this John Morant situation. Typically, the trade deadline signifies the end of something, whether it's the end of an era or end of speculation. It seems like the plot has thickened with this Memphis Grizzlies situation that John Morant, Scoop B, now that John Morant is still a member of the Memphis Grizzlies as of 2/01 p.m. Central Time here in Memphis, Tennessee. He's over my shoulder as we record this interview with you, Scoop. And right now, today, as we speak, what do you think the temperature is of the Grizzlies situation with Ja Morant? Does it feels like this is just a matter of time before he's dealt? Can you see any lane of reconciliation between the two sides?
Well, first and foremost, good to talk to you.
Oh, for sure, man.
And glad to carry this over post NBA trade deadline at 2:01 Central Time. In answer to your question directly, I think that first of all, the move shipping Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Utah Jazz showed you that nobody's job is safe. However, the overtures that I kind of got post Jaren Jackson trade and then looking at the deadline was more along the lines that they could go one of two ways. One, they can all figure this out in the offseason, specifically because Jaren, or rather because Ja is Memphis and he puts butts in seats. Or two, this offseason, there's a revisit of that. And it's interesting because I think there will be a few scenarios like that in the offseason. We've seen it play out in a couple different ways. And I've seen this kind of play out before where there's a revisit. And it most clearly reminds me of two situations. One, it reminds me of Allen Iverson in the early 2000s when he ultimately left Philly and went to Denver. And two, it reminds me of Lonzo Ball when he was still a member of the New Orleans Pelicans. And at the deadline, you had the Bulls, who were one of many teams who was interested in his services. And then the Bulls kind of just waited until he became a free agent, and then they revisited it, and then he signed. So they didn't have to give up anything. And I think that this Ja Morant situation kind of really acutely mirrors Giannis's situation with the Bucks. And that, we'll couch this for the rest of the season, see how this goes, and then we'll revisit it in the offseason. There'll be more assets available on so many different teams. And I'll be honest with you, that is kind of where the Miami Heat stood with both Giannis and Ja Morant. Giannis was on their one, and Ja Morant was 1A. And the Miami Heat will have a bit more assets this offseason to dangle around come draft time, come off-season time. And so if they decide, both Ja and Memphis, that they want to go in a different direction, I would expect other teams to kind of revisit this with Memphis. Or I think that in the offseason, Memphis could actually retool and get better and potentially retain Ja. So I kind of have a 50-50 approach with this situation because it's so fluid.
So us as fans, consumers, media, whatever you want to have an aspect you're looking at this, we're only privy to the information that's given or the information that's out there. It seems like that in the final hours of this whole Ja Morant potential trade, that the only teams that were kind of in the hunt for Ja were the Miami Heat, which is a team we definitely heard, maybe the Sacramento Kings, and and maybe Milwaukee. Might have been the three teams it came down to. Whether other teams that, from your information, that in the final hours of Thursday, that might have been in the mix to possibly get Ja.
The New Orleans Pelicans.
They still had communication.
Yes, despite what was said about a week or two ago from some of my other colleagues who I respect, I do know that the New Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies did have conversation, and really and truly, it really came down to how serious they were. And I think Memphis and New Orleans, Memphis and New Orleans were in similar situations of trying to retool, but also the pressure of finding a way to get better. And, for New Orleans, the only move that they made was to shipping Jose Alvarado to the New York Knicks. But as far as the teams that you named, the Miami Heat, as well as the Sacramento Kings, as well as the New Orleans Pelicans, from my league sources, those were the only three teams that had some type of conversation or legitimate offers for Ja Morant.
When you being that you're an NBA insider, you contact many different organizations, many different camps, many different players, all those type of things. You'll have some organizations that move in silence, they move in stealth. The Grizzlies don't like to deal with teams that do a lot of talking, and it seems like New Orleans is the same way. They don't like for their cover to be blown. Then you have some organizations. It's almost like They tell all their business. Like everybody they're talking to, they run to the media, they get these things out. They want those things to be known. This is kind of off subject, but can you explain the strategy of both ends of that spectrum when it comes down to how teams like for their information to get about when it comes down to trade negotiations?
That's a great question, and I don't know that I've ever been asked that on record, but I'm glad that you asked that. I can tell you that I can give you a tangible scenario that has benefited my career over the past 7 years, and it was with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Lakers back in 2018, 2019, when Anthony Davis ultimately left New Orleans and came to Los Angeles. I can tell you that I got a lot of information, not just from the Los Angeles Lakers organization itself, but also other middle people within that organization. I won't name names, but I will say that there were a lot of other colleagues of mine who benefited from that particular scenario with the Lakers and the Pelicans, where there was something every day. And so when you hear things from organizations, when you hear things from agents, when you hear things from players, there's a vetting process that goes when somebody tells you something. So I can tell you that separate from that situation, I have people who call my phone and who I know that I meet at different places and various places that are associated with the NBA, and they'll tell you some things, and then you might not run with it the first time, but then the second time, or when it comes out in the wash, you're like, okay, maybe there's something to that. And a perfect example, separate from the scenario with the Lakers and the Pelicans, was Paul George's rotator cuff injury that he had. I believe it was in 2019 season when he was still in Oklahoma. And this particular person who told me that, we were actually ahead of the curve. I think I reported that probably in February. It didn't come out that he tore not just one rotator cuff, but both of his rotator cuffs that summer in the playoffs. And so I was ahead of the curve in that instance. So you're testing out some people who are in the know, who know things, and I was ahead of the curve, but it ultimately came out the team announced that. That's separate from the Lakers and the Pelicans. What I can tell you is that the amount of things that were coming out, this was during the Dell Demps era of the Pelicans. Dell Demps ultimately lost his job with the Pelicans, and Magic Johnson ended up stepping down, and Rob Pelinka was the head man over with the Lakers, and Anthony Davis ended up coming to the Lakers that offseason. But there was a lot of things that were coming out from multiple people. Some of it agent-driven, some of it team-driven, some of it player-driven, but ultimately Anthony Davis became a Laker. Now, I can tell you that was in 2019. I had no ties to the Pelicans organization at the time. If you look at my reporting with the Pelicans, Anthony Davis and all of the things that came from that when the Lakers and the Pelicans were talking trades, I actually got very in with the Pelicans after that. And as a result of just that whole reporting process, Zion Williamson and I met online before we met in person. And so when we met, he gave me a big hug because he felt like I was the only reporter or one of few reporters that gave him a fair shake. My relationship with Brandon Ingram grew. If you paid attention to what a scoop that, or rather an exclusive that I dropped with Brandon Ingram a few days ago, he's now that all came from the noise and all of the reporting that I was doing, not just when he was a Laker, but also just post-Laker stuff when he was a Pelican and all his contract things of that sort. So they kind of had a reverberating effect, and it was a matter of testing out sources, a matter of, people confiding, picking and choosing what you report, what you kind of keep close to the vest and use later on. And those things that were in practice are some of the same reasons why I have the ability to appear on your show, because you're able to practice that within other organizations like the Memphis Grizzlies and build allies and not enemies.
Yeah, right. All right, so Scoop, another big talking point with this whole Grizzlies Ja situation has been it's kind of some conflicting information, right? And there was a quote that came out from Shams, one of the earlier quotes when this thing first really got started, was that he said the Grizzlies are open to taking trade offers for Ja Morant, and they're looking to build around player XYZ, and namely Jaren Jackson Jr. was one of the main names they said. I immediately saw that and it was like, I don't believe that. Like, I think that that's a lie. Like, I think that they're not actually willing to trade, willing to build around Jaren. I don't think that's real. And I said, that sounds like they're using the media to kind of get actual calls for Jaren. Like I said, that the way that sounds to me is more like, yeah, we're obviously trading Ja, and I think that when we say that, teams are going to call us and ask about Jaren, and we're telling y'all now we're not looking to trade Jaren. I think that actually was kind of a reverse psychology thing to actually get teams to garner interest about Jaren, and we ultimately saw that they traded Jaren. And what I have to ask you is, when it comes down to how you receive information, how teams give information to you, and how do you handle situations where you feel like you're not being told the total truth? Like you feel like, okay, this is clearly an organization trying to get me to help them, push over a narrative or whatever. How do you handle those type of situations?
I've dealt with things. So that's a great question. I've never been asked that publicly in an interview setting, and I'll tell you that I've been on all sides of it. As far as talking to players, talking to front office people, and talking to agents, and kind of putting the piece of the puzzle together. One of my favorite TV shows as a grown-up that was out in the 90s was New York Undercover, and with Malik Yoba, and I relate to it as first of all as a journalist first and foremost, and who has transitioned into being an insider based off of relationships. You kind of you read the room, but you also take the role of, one of the things that I think is great about beat cops in law enforcement that I've learned is, oftentimes you build with the little fish to learn about the big fish, and then when you get cool with the big fish, you go on the bigger fish. And I think that a lot of times there are times where my colleagues is reporting attracts conversation and flirts with other constituents, whether that's an agent calling an owner about something, or an owner reaching out to a GM, or a GM talking to another GM. And so specifically to your question about Jaren, I like Jaren a lot. And I covered Jaren's dad when I was a child, played for the San Antonio Spurs. What I will say is that, respectfully, I don't know that Jaren moves the needle in Memphis the same way Ja does. So that sounded good to make an assessment of that. But I trusted my gut on that based off of the information that I had concerning the Grizzlies directly and who I had been talking to since November. And so I kind of knew, Shams reported what Shams reported. I don't know his process. I've worked with Shams before, but I know my process, and I trusted my gut with that, and I knew what I knew.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to explain to people who aren't in that realm. And I'm not a reporter. I get information on things, and I'll throw stuff off of you or whatever. But it's like when people, it's like people, you'll see one report that says this, and you'll see one report that says something different, and people say, okay, the media is just making up stuff. It's like, no, it's like they're going by what's been told to them. Like they're whether they're getting told something is true or something is partially true. I just think it gets kind of murky sometimes with this.
I'll give you a deeper scenario into how certain insiders move. I won't name names, but you'll know who I'm talking about. There's an insider in basketball who's no longer employed by the company he works for, and he's moved on to other things. And I know that particular insider, his process specifically was he'll reach out to the player, he'll get their number, and he'll get their side of the story, right? If the player is not comfortable talking to that particular reporter, that particular reporter will say, well, listen, if you don't want to talk to me, that's cool. If you decide not to talk to me, I will only tell your side of the story from the position of the person within the organization who is telling me their version, and your version won't matter.
Cold game.
You know who I'm talking about? I'm not going to say that. Everybody's process is different.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. When it comes down to the job situation, where do you think the difference in opinion or difference in sides, like where are they? Like what's causing the conflict? Like why can't they just figure this out? Because to the fans,
I mean, from everything I've gathered, it's really been about the fact that he wants his extension and that he didn't get that going into the season, and that he was frustrated. Do I think there's a resolution? I would hope so. I hope so. I think it would be great for Memphis, but I also realize that it's a business. As much as I was on your show, November, December, January, if I'm not mistaken, I was on your show right going into the last time I was on your show was going right into the Martin Luther King Day break. It was when Memphis played their games in London and then Berlin, right?
Yeah.
And sometime during that time, I know that Ja and the Grizzlies had a conversation about the future, and things kind of died off. But I also know that there were teams calling Memphis and vice versa about Ja's availability. So as much as me and you were having a conversation, both on your show and even texting, just because it's silence didn't mean that they were silence as far as any level of transactional moves between the Memphis Grizzlies and said team. And so, in answer to your question, I think that anytime you have situations where guys, don't get traded and there's talk of a trade happening and it doesn't, there's like this time period between February, the All-Star break where it gets quiet, and then guys start making a run again. I actually think the move that Memphis made, it reminds me of Memphis in 2019, pre-COVID, with Taylor Jenkins, especially bringing Slow-Mo back. Slow-Mo, wasn't necessarily the most content where he was, but he made do with what he had. But I think that Memphis, if they make some sort of run, even if it's a play-in run, I think there's a conversation about what happens next year. However, I do think that Ja and the Grizzlies are going to have to find a way to resolve the differences with a contract, or I gotta go. I think that as much as their egos were bruised in this situation, I think there is a resolution that could take place, but that's on them. I can't make them decide that that's what they want to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that say, okay, well, Ja's here, they didn't trade him. So there's a path of not necessarily reconciliation, but there's a path where Ja can get out there, get on the court, show his worth, and kind of rehabilitate his reputation, not particularly with the Grizzlies, but with other teams. He can go out there and play, do these type of things. I just think this sounds crazy. Because my thing is, I don't think anything Ja does. I think people know Ja Morant is a really good basketball player. You know what I mean? I think that the Atlanta Hawks knew that Trae Young was a really good basketball player. I don't think what they do on the court was ever an issue. There are other things at play to why they're the way that they are. And I'm like, that can't be rehabilitated in the last, month or so of the NBA, especially when he's currently out with the injury as we speak. So where are you at as far as that whole theory of, well, he can get out there and prove himself and increase his trade value, or I just don't see how that. I just don't see that scenario. How that makes any sense.
Stranger things have happened. I often on your show compare Ja in Memphis to Larry Brown and Allen Iverson, and not as far as personas because their upbringings are completely different, but more so the effect of being a pain in the ass in a locker room and the team saying, like, as much as I know what I know about Ja and hear things, I also, as a journalist, have to tell the truth. And it's not all Memphis. It's Ja too. And I think that where their similarities lie is in talented guard, ability to get to the basket, creative, star of the show, king of the castle in an organization, and can really hold a team hostage because they know their value. I think what helped Allen Iverson particularly when they went to the finals that year. It's so interesting. 25 years ago, this year, the Sixers went to the NBA finals against the 76ers, and they just recently honored that team at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. And Allen was a pain in the ass. It actually took Worldwide Wes, who's now an executive with the New York Knicks, to kind of get Allen and Larry Brown on the same page. And maybe me and you need to get on the phone with Ja
group chat, man. Yeah.
And his people to get things in order, because I think as much as there's a level of alignment that's not congruent, I think Ja needs Memphis and Memphis needs Ja. I've had conversations with season ticket holders, and Tyler Hero in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform was not attracting butts and seats.
There is no good Ja trade. There is no good Ja trade. It just isn't.
Like unless you're trading for Giannis, and that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people were watching. I'm saying that was never on the table. But at the same time, unless you're trading Giannis for Ja, like it's not like Tyler Hero does not fix that. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't fix that. Like Ja is Ja, and I think like that sets the tone. Like to me, just an observer, you haven't had this pandemonium and this excitement for Memphis Grizzlies team since Mike Conley Jr. and Zebo and you know and Gasol and all that stuff. Like Ja is Memphis, and I think just to hastily move him at the deadline, I don't necessarily think that was the right move, but those conversations could come in the offseason.
When you talk about like issues that are holding this thing up, but why we are where we are, right? We've talked a lot about Ja and how non-pliable Ja can be, right? Like some of the things like you talked about the difficulties of Allen Iverson. How much do you think just straight up availability has to factor with where the Grizzlies are with them as far as trading them? How much is this like Ja, even if you were a perfect Boy Scout and you came in here and you played great basketball for the rest of the year, how much of this is like, dude, you just don't play enough games for us to put that level of trust in you? How much of that do you think is going into where we are now?
I think that's part of it, and I also think it's the approach. Like you can't demand this money and act as if that team was not with you shooting in the gym at very vulnerable moments. And I think it's the approach. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And to me, that is similar to Allen. I think the difference between Allen and Ja is Allen was implicated in some criminal stuff that he was not convicted for when he was a member of the Sixers, and it was a dispute with his wife, and they resolved that. Ja was a very different situation, and I think it's presentation. Like it's different. I can't emphasize enough that with Ja Morant, talented basketball player, good person in the community, likable person, but it's not about how you play in the court. It's what the people are saying about you. Like if they're saying these things about you, whether they're right or wrong, that's what people are going to go with. That's who you are. Right. And I don't know if playing from hypothetically February from April clears that. I don't know. Like I literally don't know either way. I don't know that. I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really interesting situation, man. I have one more question for you, Scoop. When it comes down to how he like next steps, like how would if you were the Memphis Grizzlies, right? I'm gonna put you in the shoes of a Zack Kleiman, right? Lord. Because this is what everybody's talking about now. He's here, and now it's like, okay, so what do you do with him? Like if this the injury that he has, if it comes out that he's fine, he's ready to play, and now you got a healthy Ja Morant who's, you got him, he's here. How would you handle that if you were Zack Kleiman? Would you say, hey, go out there and play? Would you tell them, hey, you could still earn a contract, or how would you handle that whole thing?
So I would have a conversation with him about where do you see this team in the future? We don't have at the deadline. We traded Jaren Jackson Jr. If you had your pick of the litter, how do you envision this team looking in a year from now? And do you see yourself as part of that? And if the answer is yes, ask him, how can you help me make my job easier? And how can I make your job easier? I think it's a give and a take. I think that in today's basketball world, the players run the asylum, but the general managers and the owners still have final say. So it's in both the star player and the front office's onus to find a middle ground and compromise somewhere. And I think once I have that conversation with Ja, and once that conversation is kind of fluid as to what he sees, I think that's where you continue to have those conversations during the season. I think that's where you bond with both he and his family and his representation, have lunch, have conversations just continuously about that stuff, and see if there's a way to sketch it out. I'll be honest with you. You brought up Trae Young in Atlanta, and I've spent significant time in Atlanta with the Hawks off and on since 2022. And that was Trae Young's team. But one of the things that Trae Young had on lock was that his representation was consistently in Kyle Korver and in, at the time, Landry Field's ear. And Rich Paul, of course, is Trae Young's agent. And I think representation also plays a big part in how front office deals with the star player. And you and I both know that for years, Ja has gotten rid of his agent, and he's now represented independently by people in his family. And a lot of times these owners, these front office people, have a difficulty translating things to the talent, because the talent represents both themselves and their brand. And so I think that is one of the strongholds that has been an issue for Ja, as well as the front office. It's the representation part. But I think it has less to do with culture and how he carries himself. It's more about the representation. And you've seen that in football. You've seen that with Lamar Jackson at points where conversations broke down with both he and Harbaugh. And a lot of it has to do with the representation. You know, I've heard that on the football side from some of my colleagues who cover the Ravens and cover the game. I think that it's finding a unilateral language that fits both the player, the front office, and the system. And so if I'm Mr. Kleiman and I'm in that position, I kind of find a way to communicate if I'm him. But if he doesn't care, then you go about your business the rest of the season.
All right, final question for my man Brandon Scooby Robinson. I got to put him on the spot before I let him out of here. Brandon, how does this all play out in your eyes? How do you think this ends? Do you think they end happily ever after, with the Grizzlies and Ja get on the same page and we live out history and we retire number 12 in the Raptors? Or do you think that it's ultimately a foregone conclusion they're going to deal Ja one way or another?
I think 12 is going to get retired in the Raptors no matter what. Brevin Knight's jersey number 12 will be retired in the Raptors. I say that jokingly. Brevin and I have a relationship that dates back to the 90s. He coached me when I was younger. And
I found that out off the air, man. It's crazy. Like Brevin Knight coached you in basketball as a kid. That's wild.
And when I started in the business at 12 years old with the Nets, working for the Nets when I was a kid, his rookie year with the Cavaliers in 1997 was my first year working around the NBA, having a radio show with the Nets at 12 years old. So,
oh wow, man, it's incredible, bro.
That's our interconnection there. But in answer to your question, in all seriousness, the Grizzlies and Ja Morant act like a very toxic couple that argues and then they find a way to get back together. I wouldn't be surprised if they are the NBA's version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to get another star to play alongside him and they figured it out. I do. Because I think the market value for him, what you've seen, is not there. I think that's the biggest thing. The market value is not there. I reported 2 weeks ago that the Memphis Grizzlies and the New Orleans Pelicans had a conversation about Jordan Poole as well as DeJounte Murray. And in turn, Memphis discussed the rights to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ja Morant. And the holdup was the Pelicans wanted a first-round pick, and Memphis said no. And that's on a basic level, right?
Yeah.
So if you're Miami and you're discussing Khalil Ware, Tyler Hero, and other people, and they're saying no, well, how do you expect to talk to Indiana or to I don't even want to use Sacramento, but like a Los Angeles or Milwaukee? Like on a basic level, the Pelicans were looking to dump 2 contracts to Memphis, and Memphis said no because New Orleans wanted a first-round pick. Like if that's the starter point and it's a no, where's that going to leave you with a Miami and somebody else?
Yeah. You talked earlier about how Giannis, I mean Ja for Giannis, right? And there wasn't a Giannis trade, and they couldn't be on the same. Right. It couldn't be on the same team. What about the other way around? Could you see Ja ending up being part of Giannis's, because Giannis put out the tweet today saying that he's about to start bringing guys in to come play with him. Could you see Ja getting traded to the Bucks at some point?
If you remember, if you go back to the tape in November, I said that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I told you that I would not be surprised if a surprise team like the Milwaukee Bucks found a way to swoop in and get Ja. And I'll be honest with you, I think a Doc Rivers and Ja Morant pairing is exactly what Ja Morant needs.
Oh, man. For real.
If you remember in your show, if I'm not mistaken, I said two teams that I think would change his career. I said the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And that he would do a 180. Everybody says a 360. That means you go back to where you were.
Right.
I hate when people say that. If he went to Boston or Milwaukee, that would change his life. I don't think Miami would be the perfect fit for him.
No, I don't think it would either. I don't think it would either. Yeah, for sure. Well, Scoop, I appreciate you, brother. It's been a good one as always, man. This is my guy, Brandon Scoop B. Robinson, man. We got to do this much more often, man. We got a lot more stuff to talk about, especially in the offseason. We definitely got to get you on, man.
We must, and I'll be seeing you probably towards the end of the month, so we got to take a snap.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah, we got to give them something, man. Give them something for the people, man. Underground King, man, and my guy, Scoop B, man. Well, yeah, man, it's going down. We need you praying for us, though, brother, man. We need these lottery balls to line up, man. We need some good news here in Memphis. We got a lot of drama going on so far this year, man. This is my guy, Brandon Scoop B. Robinson. About to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be more of the Anthony Sain Show. We'll see y'all in a minute.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
Breaking news: Sincere Parker is our player of the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, whoa! Who knew?
Shocker, right?
Yeah, what a game, man.
No, he was awesome
What a
tonight. Penny's talked about it in the last couple of weeks of just how he doesn't want his team to let go of the rope, right? Sincere putting the team on his back, and the team and the guys rallying around him and making sure he took the shots that were good shots, right? It was just a really well-played back half of the second half because they had every reason just to let it go, and they didn't. And so that was good. Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. All right, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Parish, I'll say this to you, man. I know that there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for a new ride, and I can't tell you a better place to do that than to go to Carway. Carway is the place to go in the city of Memphis. If you want a used car, not just a used car, like when you hear a used car, you think like, what's been done to this car in the past, right? Like what's going on with this car? But Carway's cars, I've been on their lot, I've seen their inventory, and let me tell you, man, they've got some awesome cars over at Carway. 6154 Summer Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee. Telephone number 901-440-8251. Go check out their spot, man. They got a really nice selection of cars over there. Financing is available. Bad credit, no problem. Check out the guys over there. Taylor, Michael, and I think Jason is the other guy that's over there. Shout out to those guys. And you can also get a pink Beetle. I saw a pink Beetle yesterday on the road, and I know for a fact it came from Carway. How much would we have to pay you to drive a pink Beetle?
Y'all got to pay me. All right. Just give me a blank check.
Would you ride a pink Beetle around the streets? Would you
not for free, nah.
Not for free.
Well, you just said what you would pay me, yeah.
A blank check, yeah. No, but they're I know it sounds weird. I know pink Beetle sounds weird, but they look pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. They look pretty good. If you are, as Anthony likes to say, if you're a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world, check out Carway for their pink Beetles. But they really do have a really awesome selection of cars, and you can actually sell your used car to them. They will purchase your used car off of you. So shout out to Carway. Carway the right way. Hit them up, 901-440-8251 for all of your used car needs. All right.
Hey, this is the perfect time to talk to that guy over there about Jaren, huh?
Yeah. I think Jaren would definitely rock a pink Beetle, to be honest with you.
But y'all was talking about that guy had a lot of stuff to say about Jaren.
Oh my gosh. He was in the comment section yesterday. He's a wild dude, man. He's wild. Michael Carruth, he's the guy, man. He's crazy.
Also, Scottie Pippen, y'all said he got his car from there. He might be returning to the lineup tonight. So
yeah, that's right. Zaire got it. Zaire got his pink Beetle and flew out of his cage like a bird, man. He was in Brooklyn now. So shout out. But yeah, King Meek says his uncle drove a pink Neon. Okay. Chris Anthony says, you give me the car, I'm game. I'll drive anything. You give it to me for free. That's right. All right, real quick before we get to the Kleiman press conference, thoughts on the Scoop B interview, or is there any like main takeaway from it that you had watching the video or watching the interview?
I guess the trade piece about the three teams. Yesterday Jake Fisher said something about Milwaukee was looking into it, and he just said it was only New Orleans, Miami, and Sacramento. I think that checks out. I think both. Like, okay, sometimes somebody say another report and be like, hey, this person said this, it ain't true. I think both can mirror. Milwaukee probably looked into it, but they didn't actually get into real serious conversations because they were still in the Giannis, the whole Giannis deal. So when the whole Giannis thing fell off, they just decided, okay, we're just gonna roll forward with Giannis the rest of the season. Not gonna worry about anything else. And they probably didn't dive deeper into it at that point. So they don't negate anything he made. I haven't seen anybody say that, but I know recently with the New Orleans Pelicans deal,
right?
Someone else, I think Marstein came out and said there was no trade on the table or something. It was like both could be true. like one person was right, the other was wrong. I think both could be true.
I think I am as convinced as I've ever been about any kind of movement that's going to happen with Ja, with anything. Is now that we're past the trade deadline and Milwaukee has basically made their bed with Giannis and they're keeping him, I think things are going to happen in the offseason now to where there's going to be more of a willingness to move and make a deal to go get Ja Morant. Like if you're Milwaukee, he mentioned Milwaukee as a potential trade piece for Ja Morant. That seems like that would be a perfect fit for Ja, right? Like to be able to go and be with Giannis in Milwaukee. And now that Milwaukee has kind of said, okay, we were exploring the Giannis trade. That clearly nothing came to fruition with that. Now it's about building and attracting players.
Wait.
I can see Ja being a massive target for them.
I would say it's a lot of things that can go Milwaukee way, but it's going to come down to one thing, and they was talking about it on ESPN yesterday. Giannis has 1 year left on that contract. So
will he extend?
if he don't extend, he out. So
Wow.
it's gonna come down to that period. Like if he signed an extension, all right, they go try to trade for Ja, yada yada. If he don't extend, he out. And they can get better packages in the offseason. Because I forgot why. I guess the end of the season teams will have more flexibility, space, or different things that they can throw in that they couldn't throw during the season at the deadline. So, but it's gonna come down to that. Like they probably gonna offer him a contract. And if he extend, then they make a play for a job for someone else. If he don't,
yeah. Hey,
it's over.
Listen, I think that'd be a smart move for everybody. Get him extended and then get Ja over there. I think that's a smart move for everybody. I think honestly that sounds about
smart move for Giannis.
Do what?
It's a smart move for Giannis. I think that's where he can get the most money, right? So if he wants to,
which is why when you hear Scoop talk about Ja and the Grizzlies, my big takeaway was it's clear that Scoop is in the ear or has the ear of a lot of Ja Morant's camp because they want to stay in Memphis because they can get extended in Memphis, right? Like that,
right.
He can make the most amount of money here, right? But at this point, he mentioned that, you know, he would like to see the Grizzlies front office and the Ja Morant camp get back together and have a conversation about what they want this team to look like. And that I think that conversation is never going to happen.
It's over with.
Yeah.
It's over with.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it's over with. I think we're about to go into it. After that press conference today, I think that's, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Any chance that happening is over.
Yeah. Let's dive into this press conference. Kleiman spoke to the media today, post trade deadline, and clearly a lot of questions were asked about John Jaren, the rebuild. Real quick before we dive into the actual clips, what big takeaway? What overwhelming thoughts coming out of the Zach Kleiman press conference today?
I got two. He wouldn't give a clear answer about if Josh can return this season.
Mm-hmm.
Kept going around to the whole health thing and like it's clear, it's just straight up medical decision, but it wasn't no clear cut. When he's healthy, he's ready to play. It's gonna take a couple more weeks until he's reevaluated. I think his reevaluation period is 1 week actually for now. Just it just sounds like he's playing. And the other one was he's really and the other part to that too. He mentioned Walter Clayton Jr. twice. Mm-hmm. The 2 times he talked about Walter Clayton Jr., he went in talking like how excited he's about getting him and everything like that. So my clear takeaway: Josh probably ain't playing. Is probably not playing another game in the Grizzlies uniform, and Walter Clayton Jr. is going to get a opportunity.
Yeah, let me bring this up. This is going to look weird. Transition's going to look a little. All right, we're back. Sorry. Let me bring these up. We're going to do this clip first. You talked about the first point was his conversation, like what he said around Ja Morant's injury and whether or not he's going to play. This is the actual clip of that.
For those of us stroking that check, man, these medical reports are crazy. I tell you that. But say Ja does get healthy, right, and he's raring to go, ready to go. Do you weigh putting him back on the court, and that may lessen the Grizzlies' chances of getting a high draft pick as they start winning a lot of games? And do you look at the fact whether if he does come back and gets hurt, that lessens his trade value?
No, I appreciate the question, but it'll be a medical determination and a medical determination.
If he's medically healthy to play, he's going to play.
I said what I said. I will continue to say it's currently, he is rehabbing. He's attacking his rehab. I'm going to get out there, get a better download on where things stand at the moment. It's a medical determination.
Shout out to Jarvo, man.
Filthy Jarvo put his feet to the fire on that one. Filthy Rich said Zach is clueless. He's a weirdo. I don't hear that clip and say he's clueless. He is just not telling you anything. He's not telling you the straight up Ja will never put on a Memphis Grizzlies uniform again. And
that was the last time he was asked about it, because he was asked about it probably about 5 different times by different people. And not the same exact question, of course. It was a different, reporters know how to rephrase that question in a different way to try to get an answer out of it.
Yeah.
And that was like the final Jarvo's like, all right, I'm finna do my last. This is the last attempt.
This is the last attempt. I got you. What's funny is didn't like based on the clips that you sent, was that right immediately after each other, or was that down the line?
Yeah, that was right after each other.
Okay.
He said that then because you could do a follow-up question. I think they did it a couple times today. Chris Harrington had a follow-up one time. Jeff Cockers had one. You could do it right after because one time he went through his word salad and he didn't answer the second part of the question. It was like, okay, what about that part?
What about this part? I asked you two parts.
Right.
It is very clear to me. He knows what's up 100%. He knows what the plan, the future is, with this season specifically with Ja Morant on the floor for the Grizzlies. Like he's putting it out there saying, hey, listen, this is a medical thing. You're going to get him reevaluated six more times this year. Like that's what's going to happen. He's never going to be medically cleared to play basketball for the rest of the year. Am I wrong?
Okay. I can't wait till the reevaluation. For one, they don't do the reevaluation on the exact date where it'd be like 3 weeks from now. It'll be like,
right.
It'll be almost 4 weeks by the time we actually get an update. And then, like Zach Edey, hey, we're gonna get another 6 weeks to another reevaluation. The reevaluation to before the reevaluation. Like
Hemji says that's a dude who know he can't say Ja ain't playing for us no more. Why can't he say that? Like, why can't he say that? Why is he not saying, listen, he's just not going to play?
That's bad. That's bad PR. I think that's I don't know. It's like I don't know why. I can't give a clear answer, but I just can't imagine if he actually did that. Because if he actually did that, we'd have been like
Chris says he doesn't want to get aggregated. That's exactly.
Also, no, he got a part. He probably can get trouble by the league because if y'all ain't really hurt,
that's true too.
You can't come out and be like, he ain't playing no more this season when y'all last injury report to see it be reevaluated. The NBA can be like,
hey, bro.
Yeah. So that's the real probably reason. You really can't.
And I think part of it is, like you said, it's a PR situation where right now, like, the conversation is there's some negative conversations around Zack Kleiman, but if as this thing continues to move forward and he keeps getting reevaluated, is never medically cleared to actually play basketball, if he comes out right now and says Ja will never touch the floor for the Memphis Grizzlies again, then Ja has the bully pulpit to then go, I'm healthy, bro. Like, I'm good.
Exactly. You can pull that. Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
It's a bad play
and then what happens? Who becomes the bad guy in the situation?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's it.
Yep.
Wild stuff. All right. So the next question or next topic that was discussed was why trade Jaren?
The Jaren trade, you mentioned obviously coming into this season making moves to try to improve the team, and then the injuries kind of derailing things. Was there anything else that you saw, or what did you see that made you believe this is the time to trade Jaren for both this season and the past couple seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, kind of coming out of last season where we, obviously we traded Dez, which was a difficult decision. Again, we felt like the team wasn't well positioned to get to achieve the type of outcomes that we're after. And based on the way that this season played out, that there were opportunities available, unfortunately, but where Jaren was the player going out, where we can bring back the type of draft capital that positions us to achieve, higher end outcomes over time.
All right.
That was not an answer, bro. The whole time you could have saw my face expression, just be shaking my head, roll the eyes, just look over like, bro, like,
what are we doing here?
Like, man.
I mean, I understand what he was saying. He was saying, listen, we made the decision. Underneath all of it was we made the decision that it was time to blow this thing up, and we actually got a good deal for Jaren, right?
Just say that. That's all the whole. It's the worst around it.
We decided that it's time to blow it up, and we got a good deal for Jaren, so we went with it. Like, right. What would be the point if we've made the decision directionally as a franchise to blow this thing up? Then what would be the point of playing Jaren and Ja anymore together? Like, what would be the point of it?
Right. I like what Chris Anthony just said.
Yeah.
Had a price for him. Someone paid it.
Shout out Chris. That's right.
Like Sain said, he's a lawyer. Yep. That's fully expected. He's a
All right. Next one is this. What's the relationship between Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies?
Question. We did see Ja's reaction in Europe, and didn't seem thrilled with some of the news and the things that happened. How would you categorize what, I mean, you said honest, but what the relationship is like between Morant and the franchise at this point in time?
Yeah, again, I honestly think that, some of the, I think it's a little bit, overblown. Like, we have a healthy, healthy open dialogue, about where things are, and I anticipate we're going to continue to.
Overblown.
Overblown. Bro, we saw the press conference, man. We saw the press.
He's a funny guy, man.
It's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's good stuff. I love your reactions to it. You're just like, whatever, bro.
Right. Just like, yeah.
All right. Here is someone asked the question, the backlash that the Grizzlies have received because of the situation, the trading Jaren and all the stuff with, especially when the news report came out that the Grizzlies were open to hearing offers for Ja Morant. What was the backlash to it and how they controlled it?
Jaren Jackson Jr. trade played out pretty quietly. The apparent trade exploration process of Ja Morant played out not as quietly, at least in the media, over the last month. Why do you think those processes played out so differently in terms of how public they were and how noisy they were? And to what degree do you think the organization could have controlled that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's groundbreaking to say that we tend to aim for a quiet process, when it's feasible to do so. Beyond that, I don't want to get into, rumors and positioning and any of that. I mean, the process played out, the way that it did, and we're focused on building going forward.
I have a question for you, and it's something I've been thinking about for a while. Why do you think the Grizzlies went to Shams and said, we're open to trades? Like, because it was clearly the Grizzlies that did that, right? Like,
oh, of course.
But because my question is if you're trying to control the narrative and that it got out so publicly, obviously when Shams tweeted it out that the Grizzlies were open to trades, things went crazy. Like everybody, I mean, obviously people divided into camps and it became pro Ja, anti Ja, pro Grizzlies, whatever it was. Zack Kleiman has all these dudes' phone numbers. Like, why? Like, was it a more so an opportunity to continue driving up the price, like for Ja Morant, like to test the trade market, or do you think that when they said that, when Shams broke that story and said that the Grizzlies are interested in hearing offers, was that at that point in the timeline was that kind of a shot across Ja Morant's bow? Like we're ready, like, bro, you're demanding this and you think you run things, but we are in control here.
That's a tough question because I thought about it too today when he said, like, because they do normally do a quiet process. You normally don't. It's not. They never did anything. Open now, Ja is the biggest player that they've had. Like, if you weren't finna hear trade news last year, oh, Marcus Smart's on the trade block. That wasn't like gonna be that wasn't gonna be news.
Right.
I think because just simply he is Ja. I think it's more like this is a star player, and he probably ticked him off with their whole contract extension stuff, and was like, you know what, that's it. Let's see what the heat is, or see what the temperature is by putting his name out there and just see. Because I guess it was just them finally saying, last year we said we're gonna trade you, now we're fed up. Forget it. Like, it might have just been just strictly, man, we fed up.
Maybe. It doesn't feel like Zack Kleiman has emotions like that though. Like maybe he does, but you hear him talk and you're just kind of like, are you a robot, bro? Like you and T.I., y'all are both robotic in the way that y'all answer questions. I kind of wonder if it's like if it's they got fed up, or if it's a shot across the thing like, hey man, we're absolutely, we're gonna show you what your value is right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I think. Probably that's what it probably really was.
I don't know. All right, next clip is let me see. He said, remind me today. He very specifically mentioned that they are rebuilding the Memphis Grizzlies. Right, this is a rebuild. They are not looking to. They're going to.
I don't know if he actually used the word rebuild, but he definitely said that they are changing direction.
I think he said.
Yeah.
I think I heard him say build a few times.
Bill, yeah, because he never actually said the word rebuild. Somebody asked it in the question in rebuild, but I don't think he ever specifically said the word. But he did say they changed direction. I mean, it's obvious. I know
it's obvious.
You ain't got to say the words.
But to say it though is kind of interesting to me. Like to say it is like, you know, he could say really whatever he wants to say at that point and be like, yeah, we're just moving in a different direction.
Yeah,
we're going to go target big time NBA veterans that are, you know, that are star players, whatever. But he's saying, no, we're definitely going young and building in a new direction with this team. And so somebody asked him clearly the question, well, then how long is this shit going to last?
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's the time frame then?
It's not going to be 5 years. How many years will the rebuild be?
Yeah, it's a very fair question. You know, what I would say is, I think you have to, you know, calibrate honestly based on, you know, where do you land in a draft? What type of players do you have? You know, you as you're timing, you know, a build and when to push in, and again, that's all through the lens of achieving the highest end outcome, you know, in this league. It will be based on who are we able to acquire and when, you know, whether that's through the draft or otherwise.
Word salad.
It is word salad. Basically, what I heard was it depends on how many games we play Ty Jerome or not, because if he keeps playing, that motherfucker's gonna help us win games. he said positioning. He said positioning in the draft. And I'm like, Ty Jerome keeps scoring 28 points in 21 minutes. You might win more games than you want. Oh man.
Yeah, and I talked about this before, but Sain said that season post talk. He was guy said he was mad because they beat the Kings and stuff. But like the players on the court ain't tanking. Like no. Yeah, the players, you work hard, you train and you develop. You're not going out there to play to lose. You're going out there to play to win, and you just so happen to win, right? It's not the front office, the coach, how you do rotations, players sitting out, how they control that. Because same thing football. Like I said, I'm a Tigers fan. At the end of the season, we were still trying to win games, and we won a couple games, right? And now we're drafting like fourth in the NFL draft because of it. Like, it happens because the players are not actually tanking.
Yeah, Himji says he did say that it won't be 5 years. He thinks that he expects it to be a shorter turnaround.
If you hit this draft, it might be immediately.
It might be immediately. If you hit this draft,
because remember when Ja got drafted, that was supposed to be a long rebuild. Like nobody expected the Grizzlies, Ja's rookie year, to be competing for the playoffs. But Ja Morant was that good coming in. Right. And this draft is setting up to be like plenty of players like that, where you already have Zach Kleiman is healthy. And you got Cedric Howard, and you got Jalen Wells, and GG Jackson. He didn't name. Now I'm about to say another takeaway. He name dropped GG Jackson when he named.
That was weird. That was weird to me.
It was slightly weird. I would say your naming players, you can forget them, but also that did make sense in the sense of like the players who are definite. I'm not looking to trade these guys. He named them, and GG
did not name GG.
I like GG, but he might be like, hey, he still could be traded.
He could be traded. He could be traded. Yeah.
So that's really how I took it more.
What players did he name? What players did he name that aren't going to be traded? Basically,
pretty much said Zach, Cam, Jalen. Says yep, those the four. And then he was really excited about Walter Clayton. And so seemed like Walter Clayton might be, but we ain't seen him play yet, so that's not a definite those with those other players.
Yeah.
He didn't specifically say they wouldn't be traded, but it was more of these are the guys we got. This is our young core.
This is what we're building. We're building with this. Yeah. Now he did say, I'm not gonna name. Like, I'm not going to target this guy and say this guy is the guy that is going to be the core of
right.
This next
That's
build.
what he did. Yep, he did immediately. About the Jalen Wells thing, like, bro, Jalen Wells is a solid wing, rotational wing. So I'm not worried on that, because let's say they could draft AJ DeBonster. Let's say they'd be able to get him. Jalen Wells come out the bench. Like, so that's my right. And guess what? I would love that's a player you won't come out your bench. Like this is probably their best collection of wing talent, with Jalen Wells, Cedric Howard, GG Jackson, Taylor Hendricks, who has some potential, who was lottery pick 2-3 years ago. So, and Omax, like, they got a wing. This is much better than their wing rotation they had when they had Zaire, Jackie Ravia, David Roddy. Like this is much. You got some promisation at the wings that they haven't had in a long time.
I hope Anthony's right. The GG thing came off as spitballing and an oversight.
That's honestly how I feel. Like I made note of it, but I honestly felt more on that end.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I really felt more on that end. I don't want to take too much out of it. What I really did take was like, all right, those four, you're not actively looking to trade. But if someone be like, hey, I need GG included in this trade, you gonna consider it.
You would
like for a job, like, okay, hey, you want this? Hey, let's do
okay.
GG in it. Yeah.
Let's do this then. Of those four that he mentioned, Cam, Jalen, Said, and Zach, who are the guys that even if a team mentions them, of those four, are there guys that you still would say, like, if someone says we really want Cam on this team and here's what we'll get, like, add him to the piece, this sweetens the deal, you would trade Cam?
Yeah, I think Said and Zach are the only two. Yeah. Unless it's for Giannis. Giannis is all best off here. Everybody's
available.
Somebody like that. But yeah, but I think Said and Zach are the two. I think Jalen and Cam could be inserted for, maybe a second level star. Well, whatever. Not think of any other trades.
All right. Let me see. Let's get to this one. Someone was like, who are these guys who are the new guys? Like, let's talk about the new guys a little bit.
Absolutely. So I'll start with Walter. Walter, as I think I said earlier, is a player who we thought highly of, in this draft. We got to know, during this draft process. He is, I think, just fits the characteristics, that we're looking for. Again, he's physically tough-minded, smart, winner. We've got a national champion, from the last two seasons between Walter and Cam, going back a couple of years. We got Zach Edey, who won, at a very high level in the NCAA as well. We got a lot of guys who just kind of fit that mold, and I think Walter, he's had, inconsistent opportunity as a rookie, and a lot of times ball handlers, they take a little bit of time to find their footing in the league. Excited that he's part of the group now, and looking forward to getting to know him. Taylor, is a guy who's also, he's had some injury issues. He's also had, inconsistent opportunity. He'll certainly get a look, and we're looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the table as well. And welcome back Kyle Anderson, as well. Kyle, we certainly want to have, I think it's really important, to have good veterans around this group. And Kyle, doesn't just check that box. He's someone who, knows the city, knows the community, and I think can be, really helpful for this group, at least, for the rest of this season.
I find it very interesting how much he talked about Walter Clayton.
Yeah.
It seems to me that he absolutely thinks Walter Clayton is going to be a part of this team moving forward, right? Like, he really likes the guy. Taylor Hendricks, I saw a lot when I covered the University of Memphis, because Memphis and UCF played.
I did not like him at UCF. I only saw him when we played against Memphis, mostly.
He wasn't great. He never
stood out. But also Anthony Everson stand out when he played against Memphis too. So,
well, I'll say this. I was telling Anthony on the phone this a few days ago. If you could think of a guy, like, if you could 2K image a dude on the court who looks like a basketball player, Taylor Hendricks is a just a guy that absolutely stands off the floor. You're like, whoa, that dude is huge, and he's athletic, and he can play. But in terms of when I saw him at UCF, I wasn't as impressed with him as everybody made him out to be, right?
Yeah.
But he was a lottery pick, though. So
to ask the question, did you really watch him outside of when he played Memphis?
I didn't watch much UCF.
Okay. Because that was the thing with me. I was like, I watched him. Cause I remember he had the hype of being a lottery pick. I was like, and when Memphis played against him, I was like, I don't see what do y'all see him? But a lot of players who just have that height, that's a wing defender. Because who's that guy? Jaden Williams' brother, Cody Williams. When he was
Colorado,
when he was at Colorado, same thing. I was like, he must be a lottery pick. I don't see it. Like,
yep. I'm excited to see what Walter Clayton does. Let me see. I think. So a really good question that was asked was about lessons learned from the way that Kleiman built this last roster around John Jaren. and what that looks like moving forward. Has he learned any lessons?
Zach, you said you're pivoting into a younger build. Just what are the lessons that you've taken from the start of this era, the start of your time here, that you hope to sort of take into this younger build?
Yeah, I think the multiple times I think that I've kind of raised my hand and said, that this is something that we, this was probably a misstep. This is something we, I think we were consistent in owning those, and I think those, certainly stand out. Looking back, you certainly do the exercise, the what we hoped, this team could have been, and in a way, you're both wanting to make sure that you surround, the group with the right kind of veterans, taking all actions to put them in the best possible position to, develop appropriately. Not, I think you want to have the right balance of guys, and in that one draft, when I said, oh, we probably, could have benefited by not pushing in, quite that far. That still holds up. I think that's true. At the same time, with the benefit of hindsight and how everything has played out, in recent years, including, none of this is pointing finger. I mean, we've been, very banged up, and none of this is saying it's, oh, it's his fault, it's that fault. The reality of it is that, when guys like Steven Adams went down, Brandon Clark went down, I think we would be in a much worse position if some of the more aggressive maneuvers, had come together. If we'd pushed in and traded, a haul of first-round picks, for someone, and we still got, but we
Mikal Bridges
would have been in a similar position, now from a health standpoint, and not, we have as many, close to as many first-round picks as any team in the league at this point. Over the last couple of years, notwithstanding where things have been, we've been able to add young players that I think are going to be very significant contributors, to the next build of this team. So you're calibrating all of that, but there's no one who is looking inward and more, critical and wanting to evaluate and put ourselves in the best position than myself and our front office. And we talk all the time, what do we learn from this? What do we learn from that? So I think a lot of that has already influenced the type of guys that we have going forward, and it's certainly going to influence our next build of this team.
Is it fair for me to think that a lot of the criticism about Zack Kleiman's roster building is kind of hindsight being 2020 overblown a little bit because of all the injuries that they've had? Like, the main guy has not been healthy. And so, like, I feel like you can say things about Taylor Jenkins and the way that he handled that situation. The Marcus Smart offload. You can say those were mistakes. You can whatever. There's some mistakes that you can say. The Zaire Williams hindsight pick was not a great pick. But I feel like the criticism that he's receiving about how he's built this roster, when you build a roster around two guys in particular, and one of them is not healthy for 3 straight years, how do you, like, is it fair for me to say that I feel like the criticism is a little bit overblown for Zack Kleiman?
In that sense, yeah. I think I look at both sides. Hey, does he deserve, because GMs are going to miss. You're not going to bet 100%.
Yeah.
So draft-wise, he's been great. Criticism on trade front, yes. But like not, and even that, like I said, depends on, it takes 2 to tango. So you need the other side. You off 4 first with Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. They say no, right? You tried. You try to get rid of Dylan. You try to get rid of Dylan ahead of time. It didn't happen, right?
You go after Kevin Durant. You go after OG Anunoby. Like, there were legitimate offers that were made. Now, being a green GM, I'm sure there's some mistake. There's some lessons learned on how to put those trades together and how to, get the trade across the finish line.
Right.
But it's not like he hasn't tried, right? Like,
right.
It's not like he hasn't tried to do those things.
And the biggest comparison has been OKC, right? With Sam Presti. But like you were just talking about the health, their star players in MVP and plays. I can't. You probably can count on one finger how many games SJ has missed the last.
He might miss a few now because he's got a stomach or a whatever injury, an oblique injury or whatever. But
and that's the most he's missed since he entered the league, right? So that's the difference, right? And not even that, they're like pretty much that's it. They're your top player. I about to say the top 3, but now Chet has missed some time. Okay, and even the Grizzlies, you never had Ja and Jaren never got lined. Like Jaren was hurt earlier when they both started. Jaren was hurt at that point.
Yeah.
Then when he started getting healthy, then Josh started getting hurt. And then it just never came together. And no coach ever found out how to get them to truly play together, both be at their best at the same time together. That never transpires.
It would be interesting to see the available amount of minutes that John Jaren could have played together and how many they in reality actually played together. I bet it would be kind of shocking to see how many minutes they actually played together as a duo. I think we'd be pretty stunned by the low amount of numbers that they actually played together. I don't know if I'm willing to even go and do that, but it would be interesting to see. I'll put Jared Davidson on it. He knows he's good at that, the stats and stuff like that. All right, so that was a really good question, I thought, by Parker. I thought Parker asked a really good question. He asked that question in a way that it was a we're holding your feet to the fire, but it wasn't a clumsy way. There was one question that I want us to discuss that I actually think, if it was asked in a different way, is a pretty badass question, because it actually put the Grizzlies front office, somebody that is in the front office, having to talk about it. It was asked, let me find it. Are the Grizzlies going to stay here? Are they rebuilding for Memphis, or are they rebuilding for another city?
Will that rebuild be here in Memphis, or will it be somewhere else?
That's beyond my purview, from a basketball standpoint. we are fully committed, to the city. I've been here for going on 11 years in the city now. I've grown up here. My kids are growing up here. We love it here. We're firmly committed to building a team that Memphis is proud of, and that's what we're going to do.
I don't mind that question. I think it was kind of clumsily asked, but that's okay. Those press conference rooms are kind of tough because the lights are completely dark. It's literally like the room is it's a weird place to ask questions of people that are up on that stage. So I get kind of being a little bit nervous maybe, but I don't mind hearing, because there's a lot of people that are still saying all the Jaren stuff, all this is a precursor to the Grizzlies moving out of Memphis. And I think on this show, we've been very, very strong about that. That has nothing to do with each other. The Grizzlies Robert Perry even came out a few days ago in a response to the Smith family. I'm not selling, and I'm not moving the team. And so I think those questions have been answered, but I don't mind hearing it from Zack Kleiman as well. I'd love to have Jason Wexler answer that question. Right.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. If that question be asked to someone like Jason Wexler, someone who's definitely on the business side. But hey, I had the same thought. I think it was last year mostly, when right when the season ended and the national media started trying to put Jordan in the trade, and I was like, Grizzlies ain't got that lease signed. I don't know. They probably I was one of them people. I wasn't like outwardly like, oh right, man, I wasn't down like, but I was thinking like, hey, they might need to keep him for tickets. But soon the season started, he quit the Lakers game. He missed however many games. He's missed 39 games this year. Hey, if he not playing, then it don't matter anyway. Ain't no tickets getting sold to watch him because he ain't playing. So
right, yeah, no, that's true. Let me see. Last one. This is the last one we'll do. Sutter Kane, shout out to you. I've never seen you in here before, but shout out. How much weight does the medical training staff bear for the Grizzlies' health issues, or does it? He was asked that question today.
Yeah, someone asked him about.
I think it was Colin that asked him that question about the training staff, and is what he said.
Zach, with this iteration of the Grizzlies obviously not being as successful because of the health injuries, have there been conversations with the front office and the medical staff about how you guys can do better with recovery and rehab?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are attacking those problems. It's certainly something we take, very seriously. Want to make sure this group is, able to, get healthy, stay healthy, and achieve the best outcomes on that front too.
I've always thought like I said, I played sports, right? I played growing up, played high school football. I just don't know how much the training staff has to do. Me and my wife talk about this all the time. These players need to take upon themselves to get in shape, or do what it takes to stay healthy. Jaren had injury issues early in his career. He ain't got them no more. Jalen Wells never get hurt. One time he got hurt because someone undercut him on the dunk attempt, right? Like, and some injuries are just unfortunate, right?
Yeah,
you know, something's like when y'all got hurt in playoffs last year. That you can't avoid that. You just Lou Dort did what most other NBA players wouldn't do. Most NBA players probably just went out the way. He stood there and boom, like so some stuff like that you can't do. Now the soft tissue stuff, I understand, and that could be a medical staff. That's also a player thing. That's on both because most players have their own personal trainer too.
100%.
So that's the other part too. Like they got their own personal trainer. So it's a lot of different variables. So when people blame the medical staff, and as a Titans fan, that's years we had a lot of injuries. During the years of Derrick Henry, and then we had a lot of injuries. And it was like, man, the medical staff. And it was like, I would say they do they play a portion? Sure, maybe it's some techniques or something that they can do better at, but it's a two-way street. The players, some of these players may not be. I don't know any intel. I ain't saying nobody's coming in out of shape, but players need to take it upon themselves as well to make sure that they put their body in the best condition to play the way that the style that they tend to play.
Like I know for a fact that Ja Morant's medical team, the training staff that he employs outside of the Memphis Grizzlies, they speak on a consistent basis with the Grizzlies medical training staff. Like they're in lockstep with each other in terms of, like I remember a few years ago, when we got frustrated with Ja not playing a whole lot of minutes in the first part of the game, first part of the season, the response to it was, this was coming from Ja's medical staff. I heard that directly from people that were involved in that situation, that Ja's medical staff was saying, you should play him less so that he doesn't get hurt, right? So, like, these kind of conversations happen. These kind of conversations are not just in a vacuum with just the Grizzlies medical team. And again, like you said, and I think MG put it perfectly, how's the training staff going to stop Ja from hitting his elbow on the backboard?
Right. You know? Like he could do on there. Like what workout can he do to stop from getting hurt by blocking the shot? Yeah. Like some stuff is just like they just unlucky. Like like Derrick Rose and Penny Hardaway, their injuries that hurt their NBA career. It just is what it is.
We're over here being so nice about it, and Anthony says most NBA players wouldn't try to jump over a maniac.
That too. Well, also what Scottie Pippen also did throw the alley. So it's a two-way street again. Like, but also Ja probably called for him to throw the alley. A lot of stuff going to all this stuff when we talk about his injuries, right? So.
Hey, 92 Tom, stop speaking truth, bro. Stop it. That's messed up, bro. Stop it. All right.
All right, Jared, man.
What'd Jared say? Hey, man, shut up, bro. Hey, I got a stat for you. Hey, I'm glad you're in here. I got something I want you to work on because I'm going to be out of town this weekend. I want to know, out of the available minutes that Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. could have played together, how many did they actually play? That's what I want to know. Jared, I'm putting you on it. You're the stat guy. He claimed, hey, this is a job that he loves. He loves stats. He wants to be the stat guy. You're the stat guy. Okay. Figure out of all the available minutes that Ja and Jaren could have played together, how many did they actually play? Exactly. It works out in the summer with his homies.
Like, yeah, because man, that's the thing. Like player, like that's the reason why LeBron just really and most of his injuries lately is because he's older, right?
Right.
But there's a reason why he rarely got hurt throughout his career because he put money into making his body to be the best it can be.
Dude, this is a damn good point. Show me one video of John in an open room with other pros.
Ah, boy, you talking too loud for the people
in
the
man,
back.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. Don't say, Anthony, you're on vacation, bro. You're on the beach with a cocktail in your hands. Stop it.
Oh my God, talking Grizzly.
John's elbow injury was due to Isolo's coaching. Isolo, man, the boogeyman. The boogeyman. The Finnish boogeyman.
I think, and wait, the last thing, like, fan is short for fanatics, right? And as fans, you just try to find any rationale for what's going on. All these injuries, it gotta be this. Man, we lose, it gotta be this. We splitting up there, it gotta be this. It gotta be this. It's just you try to search for any, like I said, like I go back to me being a Titans fan. When that era ended with Derrick Henry, same thing. It was just like you just trying to look for any rationale what's going on and why it's ending. And truth be told, it was just meant to be. Honestly, the injuries ain't really much you can do about. The players gotta. It's a two-way street. Players gotta do upon themselves, but also some luck. Some luck happens. A lot of teams that win championship, it's mostly the most healthiest team left remain the standard. Yeah. Think about every champion in the last couple of years. It's always pretty much the team that was the most healthy.
Yep. This is crazy. I mean, all this is true. Where is it?
Yeah, we knew he was joking. We knew he was joking, Sain. I know that. That's why I was laughing at.
Oh, who was joking?
Talking Grizzly about the elbow thing.
Oh,
I don't know. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. When was last time he have videos with Edie before last season? That was it. Yeah, exactly. We don't even see him and Jaren working out together in the off season, right?
The only time I saw him and Jaren together was when I Show Speed was here and he came out and said, "My boy Trip."
Damn.
At parking garage.
My guy, Jared Davidson. Y'all check out the post game bounce tonight with Jared Davidson. He's going to be on with Lou Hatmaker. Going to be a fun show. All right, let's do this one last thing. I forgot to mention this earlier. We're an hour and 50 in. The second longest show in the history of the Anthony Sain Show. I kind of knew it was going to be with the interview and with the press conference.
The interview definitely made. Then the press conference, it was always destined to be long. Our intro had to be short.
Chugs, you crazy, bro.
He stay healthy though.
He stay healthy.
So y'all do.
Y'all stop tripping. This podcast, this network is sponsored by FanDuel. FanDuel is the official odds maker for Bluff City Media. And listen, as much as it's fun to talk about John, Jaren, and where things are going, the rebuild, there's still games to be played, man. There's still games to be played tonight. They're playing the Portland Trailblazers in Portland. And it looks like Ty Jerome's available. They put out during the press or during the show today that your boy Slow-Mo is doubtful with illness, questionable with illness.
Yeah. They kind of need him.
They need him. They need a big because right now it looks like it's going to be Omax playing the 5 tonight.
Omax can play the 5 too. He's starting, so yeah, they can stay.
Crazy.
They need 2 people to play the 5.
They need 2 people to play the 5. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. This is a full on. They're 8.5 point underdogs to the Portland Trailblazers tonight. But I do have a parlay for everybody. I'm super intrigued by this parlay. 20 points tonight. Oh damn!
Bro, did you see that dunk Shaden Sharp had the other night?
Oh, Shaden
against
Sharp.
Phoenix. God, dog.
Shaden Sharp is crazy.
Man.
Oh my God, I'm such a bum. 20 points tonight. Shaden Sharp, Denny Advia, Cedric Coward, Cam Spencer. If they get 20 plus points tonight, I think it's a plus 2,300 to score 20 plus points tonight. All 4 of these guys together. $10 bet gets you $230.
Man, when was the last time Cedric Coward scored 20?
That was the only one that made me think maybe not.
Let me go. I gotta look that up. He always beating the teams. He's always in the teams.
Always in the teams.
Let me see. Last time he scored 20 was January 11th. Look here, Kenny. You ain't trying to.
Hey, that's the guy that I thought. I was like, if Cedric can get you 20, though, come on, man.
They need I think he would get it if they feature him more instead of this. I have no problem with the offense. They scoring. The offense ain't really been the problem.
It's 28 plus 28.02. So a $10 bet wins you $280.28.
So he ain't got Ty or Asante out there. Man, that's a good shot.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought.
Scott Asante. Now Scottie Pippen like to chuck some shots as well, but he he does well when he does. But his first game back.
Shout out to Anthony. I wonder if Kyle Anderson needs a haircut. I know a barber. I know a barber too.
He didn't get one when he was here.
He didn't get one when he was here.
But he got a barber now. He can get.
But I guarantee you, Antonio Jones, the master of definition, would have absolutely taken care of Kyle Anderson's weird ass haircut. Shout out. Hasn't he kind of cut it since he left Memphis? Like it looks different.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't seen Slow-Mo play since he was in Minnesota.
More like low cut, whatever. But man, if you need a haircut, hit up Antonio Jones, the master of definition, over 30 years in the barbering industry. clean, family-friendly environment. The only time that it's clean, family-friendly is when Anthony Sain is not there. So schedule your appointment around Anthony Sain. When he's there, don't show it with your girl. Don't show it with your kids. It might get a little buck wild. But natural and enhanced style, superior grooming for men, women, and children. You see Big Gabe over there, top left, getting his hair chopped. You see Anthony in the middle row right there, getting his done. Just the guy's phenomenal. Any kind of hair, any kind of style, anything you need, he can do it. The QR code's in the bottom left right there. If you're on a computer, screenshot it, hit that QR code. If you're on TV, press pause, take a picture, and book Antonio Jones for your haircuts. Shout out to Antonio Jones, 30 years of experience in the industry. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Parish. You're the man, dude.
Definitely, man. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Anthony wants you to run it back on Monday. Get ready.
We know, school. We back full force work. The snow melting outside.
Snow's melting. We might be back at work. Yep. All right. Shout out, guys. Appreciate y'all. Hour and 55-minute show. This is 4 hours of podcasting in the last 2 days. So you're welcome. Enjoy y'all's weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.